Good afternoon. Today is the 7th of May, although I don't know exactly when you'll be seeing this video, at some point in the month when we've stopped shambolically shuffling our way around every single car show in existence. But we're going to be looking in this video at the top 10 best-selling cars of April 2022, as we do pretty much every month at the moment. April 2022 hasn't been the best month for the car industry in this country. If we look at the overall trend for new car registrations, they are registrations rather than sales, although I will use the terms interchangeably because it's much, much, much easier for me to just say the top 10 best-selling cars of April 2022 rather than the top 10 most registered cars of April 2022. That's just easier. Some people get really funny about this sort of stuff, so I'm just saying it now as a disclaimer. The trends that I can see, some of them are a little bit surprising, some of them are not. And first of all, we look at the mix of fuel type. That's what we always do. Unsurprisingly, there's been a 52% decline in the number of forbidden fuel, or diesels, because we don't talk about diesels on this channel, cars sold between April 2021 and April 2022. Market share has actually gone down from 9.9% last year to 5.6%. The number of cars sold with these engines has gone from 14,000 to about 7,000 in the space of a year. People keep asking, why don't you talk about them on this channel? Well, they're fast becoming a bit of a sort of relic and a little bit of a sort of an irrelevance to the majority of people. Now, there are some drivers who do need them. There are some larger vehicles who actually this power source still works relatively well. But for most people, the market is in such decline with them that it will only be a couple of years before you won't see any manufacturers actually selling normal cars with that type of engine at all. I know the Vauxhall Corsa recently discontinued them, so that it's no surprise to anybody. Don't know why you keep asking me why we don't talk about them on the channel. You just need to look at the statistics to see for yourself that we can't. Petrol is also declining, not as fast as the other type of fuel, but it's gone from 50% of the market to 46%. It's about a 23% decline. And last April, 71,000 cars sold. Last month, 55,000 cars sold. Mild hybrid forbidden fuel cars, this hasn't really changed an awful lot, but the market mix is very different from what it used to be. This has been a way for many manufacturers, Kia, Volkswagen, Audi have all done this, to kind of meet emissions targets without actually completely changing a type of engine. They just add a mild hybrid system on there. So that's gone from 6.6% last year to 5%. It's a 37% decrease. Number of cars sold about 9,300 to about 6,000. Mild hybrid petrol, a lot more of a popular system. Most manufacturers offer this. I know Volkswagen offer the system. Suzuki, most of their cars are actually mild hybrid. I know Kia and Hyundai have mild hybrids. Loads of manufacturers now have mild hybrids, and they make up about, if you can see here, yeah, they make up 3 times the number of sales that forbidden fuel cars do now. Crazy. We were about maybe 10-15 years ago about half and half, 50% forbidden fuel. It's crazy. Now it's almost 5%. Bad. So yes, it's gone from about 17,000 to about 19,000 now, and that's a 12.5% increase. It's gone from about 12% to about 16%. Battery electric vehicles, again, no surprise here, 41% increase, gone from 6.5% of the market to 11%. Yeah, 41% change. About 9,000 cars to about 13,000 cars. Plug-in hybrids, they've actually lost a bit of market share. The percentage change is about 37% down. The same as mild hybrid for Bentley fuel cars, actually. Was about 6.8% of the market last year, now about 5.4%, and that's about 10,000 cars down to about 6,500. Hybrid cars, again, loads of manufacturers have full hybrids now. Suzuki have just introduced a full hybrid Vitara, for example. Toyota are the masters at this. Lots and lots of cars in their range are full hybrids. The Yaris Cross that I tested recently at the SMMT test day, that's a full hybrid. Obviously, all the Corollas are now. Just, yeah, it's crazy. So a big step to meet all these emissions targets, and of course we've been told that we still have to meet this deadline of 2030 to get rid of all the combustion models. So yeah, that's one way people are doing it. So the market share has changed from 8.3% to 11.7%. That's an 18% increase. It's gone from about 12,000 cars to about 14,000. So if we look at the mix of sales, private, fleet and business, we will see that private sales are massively up. Obviously companies aren't choosing particularly to renew their fleets, probably given these crazy high, new second-hand car prices and things, because cars don't lose as much value as they used to, of course, in the current climate. Private sales made up 44% of the market in April 2021. Last month that was about 55%. It's an increase of 4.8%, and it's gone from about 62,000 cars to about 65,000. It would be more of a pronounced change, but the overall number of cars sold is down anyway, so that's that. The fleet segment, it made up over half the market last year at this time. It's not now. It's gone from 55% to about 43%. So it's kind of reversed positions with the private sector. Business doesn't make up a lot of the market share. It has increased slightly, about 1.7 to about 2.3. It's about a 15% increase, gone from about 2,400 cars to 2,800. Again, not really that significant. We'll just take a break here so that we can then talk about what you've probably clicked on this video for, which is the top 10 best-selling cars of April 2022. So, a big surprise at the top. It hasn't been a Qashqai at the top for quite a long time, I don't think. This is the new model now. It's been out a few months. There is actually a test of this car on the Planet Auto channel for those of you who want to take a look at it. Yes, it's at the top place, 3,800. Next is a Ford Puma, 3,300. It's not the case really that people don't like Ford so much, because if we look at a little bit later at the breakdown by manufacturer, we'll see that Ford is very much back in favour. It's just that the Fiesta, which normally is at the top of the list, that's not been up there for a long time. And even when I look at the year-to-date sales here, we can see that the Fiesta's nowhere in the top 10. It's nowhere. It's even beaten by the Mercedes A-Class, for example. The Mini, I think it's just a Mini hatch, that's what they call it. That is 3,100. The Corsa, which is still on the top of the chart as it was last year, it's about 3,000. Remember Kia Sportage? Kia Sportage is a very big seller in this country. Kia probably have, I would say, the best overall range for someone looking for a modern car. The best overall range. Now, there is a very good other cars and other manufacturers. If you look at the Kia range as a whole, I don't like some of the styling of them particularly, but it's right away through from the Picanto all the way up to the Stinger. The Stinger and the Picanto are both fantastic cars in their own way, right through to really good cars like the Seed. The Rio is also a very good car. Some of them aren't particularly interesting, but they have a very long warranty, they're very reliable, and they just tend to be very, very well liked by people who own them. I'm not paid by Kia to say that, by the way. It's just, the way that things tend to are the ones that I've actually tried. I have tried quite a few of them now. So Sportage 2400 at 5th place, Peugeot 208, that would include, of course, like the Corsa, the electrified version. 2300 Hyundai Tucson, a close relative of the Sportage, 2200. 8th place Audi A3. That sometimes does come on the top 10 bestseller list, not too often, but just sometimes. That's at just under 2,200. Then the Vauxhall Polo, 2001. I recently did drive a current shape Polo on the channel. It was a GTI. It was a pre-facelift one though. So yes, I will, if I remember, I'll put a link to that review in the description below. And the Ford Cougar, again, it sometimes does appear in the top 10, but I haven't seen it, I don't think, for a while. So Fords are still popular. It's just that the Fiesta is being outsold by other models in the range now. Now we come to my favourite part of the video, where we look at how the individual manufacturers are actually doing. We start with Abarth, and you'll see the format of, the way that this sort of goes quite quickly. Bear in mind that these are just the cars that have been registered last month, that the cars could have been sold months and months before in terms of someone putting a deposit on the car down. So the order would have been taken up to 6 months or more before. So this isn't necessarily reflective of who's going into a car dealership right now and ordering a new car. Just that disclaimer before we start. Abarth, top of the list, it's alphabetical order. Their market share is exactly the same as it was last year. It's at 0.11. However, because of the change in the market in general, that has meant that their sales have actually decreased, but their market share stayed the same. So the change is about minus 20%. It's gone from 159 cars to 127. They've desperately need a new model, really, about. Alfa Romeo, they are getting a new model, actually. It's called the Tonale. That should be out quite soon. Maybe I'll be able to drive one of those at some point. I did drive a brand new Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio at the SMT test day last month. I don't know if that video will come up before this one or not, but the Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio is astonishingly good. So there are 2% change. The market share has gone from 0.07 to 0.08, and the actual number of cars sold is only 2 more, 99 to 101, but that's enough to actually make a little bit of a change. Alpine, actually sort of one of the first years you can see anything sort of changing, but the change has only gone from 16 to 23 cars, but that has meant the number of cars sold has gone up by 44%. Audi, traditionally one of the best sellers in this country, they almost cracked 10,000 cars sold last month, but that is not as many as they sold in April 2021. They actually sold over 11,000 cars then, so it's an 11% decrease. Bear in mind, the market overall is down by about 15 to 16%, so this is actually not too bad. So they've gone from 7.8% of the market to 8.27%, pretty much just because of the way that the market has gone down. Bentley, pretty much the same, although they've only sold 9 cars more. That's 7 to 8% increase, 7.63 to be precise, and it's gone from 0.08% of the market to 0.11. BMW, another big brand in this country, pretty much indicative of the overall decline, about 14% for them. Their market share has actually increased because of that, because it's about a 14 rather than just a 15 or 16. So their market share has gone from 6.2 to 6.3, despite the fact the number of cars sold has gone from 8,800 to 7,500. Citroën, it's a name I relish saying very much, but not doing too badly actually. They sold about 2,500 cars last month. Last April it was 2,600 cars. So although there is a decline of about 7%, the market share has actually gone up from about 1.9 to about 2.1. Dacia, they have had a good month, a very good month. It's a 90% increase, 0.8% of the market to 1.8. Number of cars has gone from about 1,100 to 2,200. Cupra, again, quite a good month. They seem to be building a bit of momentum. We've got a lot more new models now. But 82% increase. They've gone from 0.37% of the market to 0.81, and about 500 cars to about 1,000. So really good. DS, again, a very good month for them, surprisingly, much better than Citroen. 164% increase, 0.03% of the market to 0.1, but that's only 47 cars to 124, so that might not be statistically significant, I don't know. Fiat, much better than their Abarth sister brand. Sort of like similar to their Stellantis counterpart DS, 40% increase, got from 0.9% of the market to 1.5, 1,300 to 1,800 cars sold. Ford are back on top. They are the biggest brand, although they have had a considerable decline since last year. So it's 22% decline. They were at 9.2% of the market. They're now at 8.4. Our number of cars sold has gone from 13,000 to 10,000. They've just broken the 10,000 barrier. So it is actually worse than it could have been. Genesis I won't actually include. I did really enjoy driving one of their cars at the SMMT test day though. Honda have done very well, 28% increase, 1.6% of the market at 2.4, and 2,200 cars sold to 2,900. Hyundai similarly very good, 65% increase, 2.8% of the market at 5.5, astonishing. 4,000 cars sold to 6,500, very good. Jaguar not so good. I've heard that things in Jaguar Land Rover are a bit difficult at the moment. 44% decrease, from 1.4 to I'm so sorry, viewers. My phone decided to do something really weird there and started bringing up the Google Assistant. I didn't intend that. We shall have to continue from where we left off. So Kia, 0.78% increase. Now that might not sound very impressive, but you've got to remember the market's down by about 50 to 16%, and their sales last April were very good indeed. They've gone from about 7,500, about 7,600 now. Their market share has increased from 5.3 to 6.3. That's very good. Land Rover, similar to Jaguar, they have had a big decrease, 29%. They had 4.5% of the market last year, about 6,400 cars sold. Now about 3.8 and 4,500 cars sold. Lexus, for some reason, very much like Jaguar and Land Rover, have had a decrease. I don't really know why. They make some good cars. They're not styling some of them, but they're very well engineered cars, Lexus. They've gone from 0.7% of the market to 0.45. About 1,000 cars sold to about 500, so a big decrease. Maserati have had an increase, but it's only about 9 cars, so it's not that significant really. Mazda, they're doing quite well. I do like Mazdas. I think they're very nice cars. My favourite would be the Mazda 3 Saloon in dark blue with a beige leather interior, which I do like a nice beige leather interior, viewers. So we've had a 0.5% increase, 1.58% of the market to 1.9, and the number of cars has stayed almost exactly the same. It's about 2,200 to about 2,300, not very much of an increase. Mercedes-Benz, rather like Audi and BMW, quite a loss in the last month, potentially because their cars are quite expensive and you know, people just have reduced budgets. I don't really know, and you can't get the discounts you used to be able to on them. 25% decrease, was 6.1% of the market, now 5.5. Number of cars sold has gone from about 8,700 to about 6,500. MG, predictably, doing very well. They just seem to do well at the moment, full stop, really. 26% increase was 1.5% of the market last April. Last month, about 2.3% of the market and 2,700 cars sold. That's actually bigger than Seat, considerably bigger than Seat, actually. So yes, quite a sort of force to be reckoned with now. As is Mini, 28% increase, 2.2% of the market, now 3.4. Number of cars sold has gone from 3,000 to 4,000. Mitsubishi, we can discount them because we don't sell cars in this country anymore. Nissan, 50% increase. I probably this is due to the new Qashqai if it's the top seller for the month. People love Qashqais in this country. Obviously, they are built over here. 3.6% of the market has now gone to 4.8, and 5,000 cars to 6,000 cars approximately. Peugeot, one of the reasons the Stellantis brand seems to be doing better are ones that are more expensive. I don't really understand that, but there we go. They've had a loss of 26%. It's gone from about 5% of the market to about 4% of the market, and about 7,000 cars down to about 5,000 cars. Polestar have had an increase. I don't know when their first full year of sale was, possibly it's this year. 29% of an increase. Market share is not that significant at the moment, though. It's gone from 0.22 to 0.34. Porsche, down by about 11%, although that's still above the general average. Market share has not particularly changed. It's gone from 0.86 to 0.9. Number of cars sold has gone from 1,200 to about 1,000. Renault, they're actually doing okay. The market share has actually increased, although number of cars has slightly decreased. It's about 0.7% down, but the market share has gone from 1.7 to 2%. Number of cars sold both about sort of 2,350, right in the middle of that. Seat, not a good month for Seat. I've absolutely no idea why. Not a good month for Skoda either. They tend to have sort of similarly sort of tied effects. One wonders why the other does well too, and the reverse is also true. So they've had a 54% sales decline. Their market share has gone down from about 3% to about 1.6. Number of cars sold is more than half, from over 4,000 to under 2,000. Skoda, not as much of a sort of sales decline as Seat, but still significant. 4% in the market, down to about 3.2%. It's a 34% decrease. Number of cars sold has gone from 5,800 to 3,800. Smart, I don't really consider Smart to be that significant, but their sales are about the same. 127 to 116. SsangYong, a very good month for SsangYong actually, comparatively speaking, despite the troubles that they're still having with their sort of parent company. They've gone up by 65%, 0.07% of the market up to 0.15, and 105 to 173 cars sold, so very good for them. The reverse is true of Subaru, unfortunately. They haven't really got any new models. They haven't had some for ages. I don't know what's going on with them, really. 44% decrease, gone from 0.09% of the market to 0.06. 128 down to 72 cars sold. Suzuki have had quite a good month. I did drive the new S-Cross at the S&T test day, and I quite like that actually. It was a decent car, that. So they've had a 5% increase. The market has gone from 0.93 to 1.2. A number of cars sold actually increased slightly from about 1,300 to about 1,400. Toyota, I did drive the new Yaris Cross at the S&T test day. That was also a pretty good car, really. 23% down. I don't really know why. Their market share has gone from 5.57% to about 5%. Number of cars sold has gone from 8,000 to 6,000. Vauxhall, another Stellantis brand, just for some reason not doing very well in the last month. I'm not really sure why, despite the fact that the Corsa is a big seller. 33% down. It's gone from 6.3% of the market to about 5%, and from about 9,000 to 6,000. Volkswagen had a monster month in April 2021. They sold over 13,000 cars, but it's not worked out so well for them this time. They've gone down to about 7,000 cars. Market share has dropped from 9.4% to 6.1%, so it's a 45% decrease. Volvo, again, I don't know why they're not doing it well. They make some fantastic cars, actually. They've gone down by 30%, from about 3% of the market to about 2.5%. A number of cars sold has gone down from 4,300 to about 3,000. The other imports, which is mainly Teslas, no Teslas I don't think have come in. Otherwise, when they come in, they tend to, go up to sort of first or second place, which artificially bumps all the figures out. But yes, overall, about 119,000 cars sold last month, and that's a sort of 16% decrease. I will put a table in just now just to show you the top 5 manufacturers for last month. So there we are, viewers. Those are the figures for April 2022, the top 10 best-selling cars and performance of particular fuel types and manufacturers. I hope you enjoyed this. There are some of you who really love this sort of stuff. Others of you, I know it's not really your sort of thing, but I find this sort of thing really fascinating. So I will continue to make these videos for those of you who also find it interesting. Thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment below. It all very much helps out. And we shall see you again soon for some more penetrating market analysis.